Season 2 of For Honor has brought with it some very interesting and exciting changes, but the most staggering of them all is the Shinobi. Whether you're his #1 fan or you prefer the more visceral fighting style of the Centurion, the fact remains that this ninja is the most unfamiliar character in the game's roster. Today we're going to look at some duels from the perspective of the Shinobi and some from For Honor's less exotic characters so we can see how they measure up. First up, when fighting against someone who's uncomfortable with the capabilities of the Shinobi, it's very easy to manipulate his toolkit. He outranges every other character and he outmaneuvers them as well. Furthermore, he's a dangerous fighter up close too, albeit a fragile one. Manipulating the character's range and pressuring enemies up close creates an interesting dynamic for the Shinobi and the people that need to fight him. The best advice I can give for fighting against this character is to not be afraid to learn. I know getting beat up by the new kid on the block feels bad, and it might bring back some rough childhood memories, but if you get chopped in the face enough, you'll eventually figure out how to counter. Next, let's see how everyone's favorite shoulder spammer stacks up against Naruto's #1 fan. Right away, we see the character manipulating his range to a very great effect, but this is due in part to the fact that it's very strange to expect a guard break to come from halfway across the universe. But now that we have a better idea of what he can do, we start to see his weaknesses come out. The Warden can dodge his guard break, and if he's close enough, follow up with a shoulder bash, which opens up the floodgates for his mix-up. And because the Shinobi has a very small life pool, the smallest in the game, the mix-up is that much more dangerous to get caught by. Finally, let's see how the Kensei, a character with an above-average range, can hold up. To start things off, we're seeing the up-close potential of the Shinobi. At the end of the day, For Honor's fundamentals, feinting, blocking, parrying, etc. still apply to this character. He was off to a good start, but one slip-up left him open for a massive counterattack that leaves a lot of other members of the game's roster with a lot more room to breathe. So all in all, the Shinobi is a game changer, and he's very intimidating, but he's very far from being unstoppable. To close things out, we're going to watch a duel of Shinobi versus Shinobi, and this is going to be the perfect example of how dramatically different this character is from all the other characters in the game. After having played him up to Prestige 1, he feels so much faster than all of the other characters in the game, and it is all because of his ability to double dodge. He can cancel out his dodge into a second dodge, which creates that puff of smoke, but as you can see, he is still susceptible to guard breaks while he's in the puff of smoke. And we're already, though, noticing a dramatic difference in the way this duel is playing out versus how the matches versus the classic For Honor characters go. It's just a lot faster. It doesn't even look like the same game to a certain degree. We're just seeing some Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon type stuff. But let's get back to the commentary. Both of us are out of stamina, but my stamina is going to return first, so I will be able to go on the offensive a little bit earlier. And we are doing some big damage, but we got a bit too greedy with our heavy attacks. We're going to get parried and put back into the gray, but fortunately for me, it's all back and it's all good. And there we go. We're almost knocked out of the first round pretty early, and there it goes. We're going to get tagged with a guard break and then executed. Head gonna get chopped the fuck off. So, at close range, the Shinobi is very susceptible to guard breaks because there is a considerable amount of time between activating the first dodge and the second dodge. I mean, it's something to the effect of, you know, a couple hundred milliseconds, but that's an eternity in a fighting game. So, round 2, let's see if anything different happens for us. We obviously want to walk away with the victory because a lot of people seem to think that I lose all the time, and that is absolutely not true. Using that kick, trying to follow up with a second kick, but it is going to get dodged. But fortunately for me, we landed a successful parry. Not going to be able to do too much about the out of stamina state, though. No advantage coming there. But now we're getting caught in a classic heavy feint into guard break situation, and that's going to be a big amount of punishment for this character because of the incredibly low health pool. And that was strange. Both of our kicks went off at the same time, and nothing wound up happening. But at this point, I'm out of stamina. He's going for guard break after guard break, and then he's going to finally mix it up with a light attack, trying to throw that ranged grab, and it is not going to work. I'm going to dodge out of the way, and then finishing him off with a zone attack. It's not necessarily faster than the standard light attacks, and it can't be feinted, but hey, it got the job done that time. Now, before we go on to the next round, I just want to apologize for not knowing the names of all of the moves in the Shinobi's roster. It's just way too much to keep up with after only having played the character for about 6 or 7 hours. Eventually I'll get the hang of it, but for now I'm just gonna call that the trip. And I got hit with it, and he followed up with some light attacks, going for just a plain old charged heavy, trying to get a bit greedy with the second one, so I'm gonna get parried and put on my back, throwing out that ranged guard break but dodging out of the way. I've got to practice teching those, because if I do, I'll be able to get some very serious punishment. For anybody that doesn't know, whenever you parry a ranged attack from the Shinobi, or whenever you counter their ranged grab, they will get pulled towards you and knocked on their ass. And there we go, throwing out that kick, but it wasn't susceptible to a guard break there. I wonder if that's an always the case thing, or if it was just the timing. I wonder what the vulnerabilities for this character are. There's so many interesting things to find out, and there we go, just throwing out a ranged heavy attack, and it is going to finish him off. So as we go into round number 4, we're going to see if I succumb to the pressure or if we walk away with a 3-1 victory. It's scary, folks. It's scary. If you guys are familiar with the channel, a lot of times I crack under the pressure. I do some dumb shit, and right there I'm making a bad move by getting kicked in the face, using that double dodge and going out with 2 light attacks instead of the kick. The mix-up potential for this character is very interesting, and right there we whiffed a guard break, so already it's looking like I'm doing some dumb shit. I'm at a deficit of 1 health bar, but I'm trying to make it up by going for a kick. This time I'm not going to do that backflip, but we landed a successful guard break, and we're going to chop his head off for the final round. So there we go. The Shinobi, it's a very cool character. Again, is it overpowered? Maybe. Does it need some tweaking? Probably. But is it a hell of a lot of fun to play? Yes. Is it cool to play against it? Yes. It's very fun to learn the dynamic that this character has with the classic For Honor character. So on that note, the name of the game is For Honor. You know that by now, right? The name of the channel is iBluairJgR Gaming for Comedy. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.